going to be hosting Brajesh Singh from Nainital, which is in the Himalayas here. Here he is. And we're going to be talking more about interview preparation and all that good stuff for everybody. Brajesh is an automation tester as well as a really great developer, software developer. Brajesh, welcome back to the show. You shared us some great information last time on AI, and we love that. So now we want to hear what you have to say about interview preparation for your job. Can you tell us a little bit about your job and what it entails, and just to get it started?
Sure. First of all, thank you, Gabriel, for inviting me to the show again. It was a pleasure again coming back to the show. So let me talk about my job. So currently, I'm working as a software tester and developer with Infosys Limited. So Infosys is one of the biggest companies in India that is providing the IT services. So talking about my job, okay, it's basically a role of a developer where, like, the programmers or the coders, okay, they work on a special task like the software or anything. So what we do is we do the testing of those softwares, and, like, we fix the bugs and any kind of any kind of errors that can, like, in the future it will affect the software or, like, audience. So all those things we do, and yeah, it takes a lot of time, and, like, it takes a lot of brain also. See?
Wonderful. And can you tell me, because I'm a little curious, like there's this word QA, quality assurance. Is that
Yeah.
different from what you're doing in testing, or is it in the same area?
QA is also a similar kind of thing. Okay, QA, actually the testers are called as a QA only. So what is QA is? QA is quality analyst. Quality analyst, as in, like, if you are building any software. Okay, suppose the developer has built a software. So we cannot directly, like, implement that software into the market, because that software will be having so many kinds of bugs and errors at the same time. So for those things, the companies are having a special department that is called as a quality engineer. Okay, in this quality engineers department. Okay, so there is an in-house testing. Okay, like, all the testers will be sitting there. Okay, which are having, like, various kinds of skills. Okay, required for testing. So this software comes into this house, and, like, the people test on this software and fix the bugs at the same time. And once these bugs has been fixed, and, like, once we get a green signal, yeah, the software is working properly, and it will not affect any, like, audience or the market after its release. So then only that product is sent into the market. So yeah, quality, QA and testers both are, like, the job is same.
About the same. Oh, okay. So it's almost
Yeah.
another name. I thought maybe it would be a little bit more uh, different stages or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So now for your job, what would someone how would they get into it? What are the things that they might background they might have, and what would the steps be to become a proficient in this to get a job in it? What would the steps be to start off, and then we could talk about maybe interview preparation.
Yeah, sure. The very first thing is, like, it's a technical job. Okay, it's not a not technical job. So the very first thing, if someone is coming into this field, okay, the he or she would be needing a programming skills. Okay, whether it is Java or whether it is Python, any programming language. Okay, at least one programming language is mandatory, because you cannot come into this field, okay, if you're not having any, like, programming language, or, like, you're not having an experience in, like, coding. So it will be very hard to, like, sustain in this field. So it's basically a technical role. Like, when someone is coming over here, okay, they are developing their skills. Like, suppose when I was new, okay, so I already know the Java. Okay, so when I went into the company, and over there, like, I learned many more new skills, okay, related to testing, related to web development, related to developing roles also. I learned so many new skills, okay, where previously I was having only one technology or two technologies, but today, as of now, I will be having almost like 15 to 16 technologies, okay, like various tools will be there. Okay, so all these things, like, when you get recruited into the company, all these things get like, learning by learning, like, slowly when time gets passed, okay, you will able to learn those things, because this is a IT sector, as in like, you need to upgrade your skills every year. Okay, because every day new technologies are coming. Okay, every day new tools are coming, new tools are upgrading. So you need to upgrade yourself also on the similar basis. If you're not upgrading, obviously, like, there will be lacks of testers or lacks of developers. Okay, so you will be into a crowd. Okay, if you're not developing the skills, you will be into the crowd and no one will notice you. So if you want someone to, like, get noticed, yeah, if he is a good developer, so you need to upgrade those skills, and you need to be assured, like, whatever you should be 110% sure. Yeah, yeah, I can do this work. Okay, whatever the project is given, I can do this. Okay, I'm having that ability, I'm having that those skills, obviously. And apart from that, if any new freshers is coming, yeah, freshers is also a very good thing. Okay, so they are also nowadays, like, freshers are also having, like, some kind of 3 to 4 skills. That is also good, but slowly, like, they also get developed when the time gets passed.
Right. And so would you recommend shooting, because when the part of interview preparation would be to think about, do I want to join a large company like yours, or maybe a smaller company, or are there any pros and cons to consider?
Yeah, sure. So like, when the people joins to the company, they need a job first. Okay, if they are searching the job, obviously the job comes first. Okay, whether it is a big company or small company, any recruiter who is providing the job, it's okay. But when, like, when you are seeking the hike, okay, everyone needs a hike every year, right? So then comes a logic over here. So if you're working in a smaller company, like, that is not listed in a like, stock exchange, or like, those are like, doing business in, like, 1,000 crores or something, not into the billions. Okay, it will be doing a business in, like, 1,000 crores or 15,000 crores, like this. Okay, those companies, so those are like, third party companies or small companies. And apart from that, like, there are big companies also, like, the Microsoft is there, Google is there, Infosys also, like, billion-dollar company, Accenture is there. Okay, these are some kind of big companies. So if I'm going into these big companies, okay, like, the service based company especially I'm talking, so you won't be getting that much package, okay, according to your skills, and the workload will be like, obviously it will be higher, and sometimes, like, it takes a time to get the projects also into these big companies. Okay, this is one of the factor over here, because, like, these big companies, they will be having a lot of people in them. Okay, like, currently where I'm employed, okay, they are having almost like 2 to 3 lakhs people. Okay, with Infosys. So in this, like, if you're having a good skill, okay, it will be very hard, like, to get the project in these companies. By chance you will be getting the project, and by chance, like, you will be on the bench. Now, coming to the smaller companies, okay, smaller companies is comparatively better than the bigger companies. Why? Because if I go to the smaller company, the very first thing is I will be learning over there. Okay, the very first thing is I will be learning over there, and the second thing is my package will be much higher as compared to the bigger companies, because they are having a lot of many people. What they are doing is they are providing a smaller package to every people. But in the smaller companies, there will be only 500 to 600 people, not more than that. Okay, obviously it will be 1,000, 2,000, but not in lakhs. Okay, these are the small companies. So in this, what is there is, like, they'll be having only sufficient people, so they provide a good package to those people. Like, in smaller company it will be like 8 to 10 lakhs. Okay, but if you go to the same bigger company, over there your package will be around 4 to 5 lakhs. So there's a major difference in this one. And there is another thing, in the smaller companies you can learn a much better way. Okay, and you can get a project in a much easier way as compared to the bigger companies. So these are some, like, pros and cons with the, like, say, big companies and the smaller companies.
So would you say that generally, is there a pay difference for the big companies, or?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm working with the like, the big company. So obviously my package is what I need. Okay, it is not up to that mark. Okay, but it's still sufficient. Okay, it's comparatively good. But, like, if I going into the same role into the smaller company, okay, so over there I'll be getting a much higher package. Okay, as compared to the what I'm getting right now. So this
Hmm.
is one of the difference. Okay, So that's why people, most of the people, what they think is they don't want to go to these services based companies, okay, because they provide lower packages. So what they try is they try to move to the product companies. If they are not able to get into those product companies, what they will do is go to the smaller companies where the number of employees are very less, 500 to 800 people, not more than
Mm.
that.
And so the workload maybe for you get more attention and you'll learn more with those smaller companies, at least in your
Yeah,
country.
yeah, exactly. So if you are going to the smaller companies, okay, so obviously you can learn in a much better way, okay, and you can get projects in a much better way, okay.
Right.
And if you
More.
talk about the bigger, yeah, if you talk about the bigger companies, so when I was recruited, okay, with me around 5,000 peoples were there, okay, into the testing role only. So now the thing is only few testers are there, okay, those who are involved into the project, but most of the testers are into the bench, okay. If you are talking about the smaller companies, they will train only those sufficient people, 10 to 15 people, and they will utilize them also, okay, and they will give them the projects also. So this is one of the basic difference into the big companies and the smaller companies. I'm not
Right.
talking
Right.
about only my company. I'm talking about every IT services, the big giants. Infosys is there, Wipro is there, Accenture is also there, okay. So all these companies do the same thing, and the lower, the smaller companies, it's much easier to get the things over there.
Right. Now, in terms of like interviews and the preparation to go in, a lot of times, it's a little different than your skills that you might learn. And then you like usually the interview is some another skill that you have to learn. You go in and then you do your projects and coding, and then you got to learn what are they going to ask me now. So what is your advice? What are the steps that someone can take to prepare themselves?
Yeah, sure. So, see, if someone is going for the interview for the first time, okay, so the interviewer will ask the basic question because first I will talk about the freshers, okay. So, interviewer will ask a very basic question, that is the programming skills, okay. Suppose if you know the Java or Python, they will ask only the data types, okay, data structures they will be asking. And apart from that, small how the classes are implemented and how to call the method, all these small questions they will be asking, where you need to think from your brain, okay, what will happen, okay. They can give you a small scenario also, can you write a code for swapping two numbers, small. They will give only a small coding, okay, not big coding. It will be just 10 to 15 lines, that's it, okay. And they will just ask the logic. And apart from that, they can ask you some technical terms also, if you are getting recruited into the web development or anything, they will just ask you a technical term, what is HTML, okay, what is CSS, what is JavaScript, what JavaScript is doing, okay, why JavaScript is needed in the web development. So they'll just ask some basic questions. But when you talk about the experienced persons, okay, so when experienced persons are switching to the other companies, so over there the interview is bit different from the fresher, because if someone is taking the experienced person into their company, okay, obviously the interviewer will go through each and every concepts with the candidate. First, the very first question is for the experienced one, explain your project, okay. Whatever the projects you have done in the past 1 or 2 years, can you please explain me your structure of your project, okay. What are all the things you have implemented, what are all the new innovations that you have done into your project. So when the candidate give these answers, okay, the interviewer will get the idea, yeah. He has done these kinds of project and he has implemented these kinds of things. And then the interviewer will ask you some very higher order thinking skills questions, in the programming. They can ask you to write a program also, okay, not a small program. They can ask you to write a advanced program also, okay. So over there, you should be 110% sure, you should know these things, because uh, company seeks more attention for the experienced persons as compared to the freshers. So in our country, it's the freshers interview is very simple, okay, it's not that much hard, okay. But when you are going for the experienced one, okay, it depends on the interviewer, okay. If the interviewer is very good, he will he will test you from top to down, okay. Each and everything he will ask you, and then only he will give the feedback, okay, whether the candidate is good or bad, okay, like average or good. So accordingly he will give the feedback. So that's
Right.
it. uh,
Now, now, so it's because it seems like with testing, it's a mix of everything you got to know, right? It's not just like say you're going to go in for front end, or do they do a little bit of front end kind of stuff to check you and see if you know a little back end stuff, or a little here, a little there, or is it how does that in terms of percentages?
uh, yeah, see, testing is most of the people think that testing doesn't require any coding or anything. Okay, they will just use the tool and the software get tested. It's not like that. Okay, we are using the tools. Okay, but in that tool also you need to write the codes and everything. So talking about my experience. Okay, so I test the web applications. Okay, web application as in suppose YouTube is there. Okay, so if I want to test the YouTube, so I'll be writing a code for YouTube to automate that YouTube. If I want to search anything into the YouTube, I will automate. I will write each and every code for automation. Okay, once I write this code, I will run my program and it will automate the things whatever I have written. So then it will test the things and it will give me a results also. Yeah, these test cases has been failed. These test cases has been passed. So accordingly, I can get the idea where is the error, okay, and what part the error is coming. So accordingly we need to develop our test cases. So that's how we do it.
So what I'm hearing is that there's sometimes you have to use some customized um, software or stuff that you make specifically for whatever it is that you're testing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not like we are using only one tool. Okay, we are using the I'll just tell the tools. Okay, for testing you are using a basic language that is a Selenium. Okay, Selenium tool you are using and you are writing your code into the Java. Okay, now it's not only about Selenium. If you are writing your just code into the Selenium tool, okay, so it will be a very basic one. But when the code gets bigger and bigger, the complexity gets increased. Okay, so to decrease this complexity and to increase the memory space, okay, so we use different kinds of tools also, frameworks we use. Okay, test engine framework is there. Okay, then we use the build automation tool, that is a Maven, okay, which build our projects. And apart from that there's one more Jenkins. We use Jenkins. Suppose you are sleeping into the night and you want that whatever the code or whatever the test cases you have written, it will run in the night. When you are sleeping, it will run in the background in the night. Okay, and when you wake up into the morning and when you log in into your system, okay, you will get a detailed test report, what are all the test cases has been what are all the test cases has been failed. So this is one of the tool we are also using, Jenkins. Okay, I schedule my test cases and everything into the night, and morning I do the test analysis and everything, and I get the idea how the software is working, if there is any defect or not. So these are the some tools that I told, okay, we are using. And apart from that also we are using so many tools, okay, to simplify our basic needs.
So would it be advisable for someone who's looking for a job to get skills in Maven and Jenkins? You said Jenkins, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, if anyone who wants to be a QA tester, okay, so the very first thing is he should know the programming, either in Java or either in Python. Okay, any two programming language he or she should need. Okay, then other thing is, second thing is the tool Selenium. Okay, Selenium is very important. Then some frameworks. Okay, JUnit framework or TestNG framework, any kind of framework. Okay, so then third thing. Okay, then fourth thing is how you are going to automate your project. Okay, you are using any tool, that is a Maven. Okay, build automation tool it is called. So Maven, if you are having very good knowledge, okay, it will be a you can say a good pointer for you in your resume also. Then the fifth comes here, if you are using any new technologies Jenkins or anything. So Jenkins is also there. Okay, these are some of the new technologies. If you are writing into a resume, okay, it will give a feedback to the interviewer. Yeah, he is up to mark for the newer technologies and we can interview him. Okay, then only they will interview, because the companies are getting more than lakh applications. Okay, and they are not interviewing all the lakh people. Okay, they are
Right.
just interviewing only 100 to 200 people. and
Right.
how they are yeah, and how they are interviewing on the the resume gets selected on the base of ATS. Okay, so automatic tracking system. So once the resume gets selected, okay, so they will interview only 100 or 200 people, and those 100 or 200 people will be having those skills that the company needs. And other than that, whatever the applications has been received, they will be getting rejected. So it's very important to build your resume in such a way that it should include the newer technologies also. But if you're not including the newer technologies, okay, and if you're not updating yourself to the new technologies, okay, obviously it will be very hard to get into the IT sector.
Right, right. Very good point. Those are very good pointers.
Yeah,
Put this stuff in your tool belt. Learn the other
exactly.
automation tools, not just the programming, or it's not that simple. You gotta like go
Exactly.
on to try to get a little edge on everybody. Very,
Hmm.
very, very important stuff, Brajesh. So we're just rounding up to 20 minutes. So I got a bunch of
Oh,
other people ready to come on, and I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And we hope to
thank you.
talk to you next time about some other
Yeah,
great
sure.
stuff because you got so much stuff to offer. And thank you so
Thank you.
much for coming on the show, Brajesh.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gabriel, for inviting me to the show again. Thank you.
Okay, talk to you next time.
Yeah, yeah,